Greetings, fellow explorers. In previous videos, we discussed the function of evil magic and how it involves planting seeds of negative energy in the mind of the victim. In this video, we will go deeper into this function to gain a better understanding of the malefic arts. But beware, fellow explorers. We discourage the actual practice of curse magic. The purpose of this video is to increase our awareness, for it is unwise and arguably foolish to ignore the dangers of the unseen world. Now, let us gaze into the very point where all curses begin. For a magician to target another individual with evil magic, the magician must first invoke evil energies within themselves. As we have explored in other videos, magic requires energy to charge. Emotion is that energy. Emotions not only charge your spells, but they have a major influence on the qualitative nature of the results. For example, healing magic must be charged with emotions of peace, bliss, and unconditional love. Baneful magic, on the other hand, must be charged with anger, revenge, and hatred. Once the magician is pulsing with negative energy, they may then project that energy through their mind's eye towards their target. Remember, this attack occurs on the subtle planes of reality, beyond the threshold of our ordinary senses. The projected energy bombards the victim's aura, which serves as a shield. Indeed, the aura reflects and dissipates the incoming negativity, such that the would-be victim remains unaffected by the attack. Later, we will discuss how to generate and maintain a strong aura with ease. But for now, let us imagine that the victim does not have a strong aura. What does a successful magic attack look like in this case? Rather than crashing through the aura like a battering ram, the attacker's energy draws more and more attention from the victim's subconscious mind. Remember, the subconscious mind is aware of all that is going on in the unseen world. In this case, the subconscious allows itself to become fixated and stimulated by the incoming negative energy. Within the subconscious, there are also unlimited seeds of potential which can be influenced and impregnated with information. Truly sinister magicians exploit this fact. They understand that these seeds are what make us so impressionable. Therefore, the attacker needs only to garner the attention of the victim for long enough to fill these seeds with negative energy. With persistent stimulation, negative thought forms will eventually emerge from these seeds. When this occurs, the curse is said to have taken root. From here, the thought forms will begin to radiate their own negative energy, thus eroding the aura from the inside out, leaving the victim increasingly vulnerable to further external influences. At this point, the subconscious mind has become fully programmed by fear, and so it will manifest chaotic and destructive results in the emotional, psychological, and physical life of the victim. It is impossible to describe a complete set of possibilities regarding the symptomology of psychic attacks. Malefic energy, once rooted in the mind, can manifest in unlimited ways. Thus, we have a simplified illustration of the inner workings of curse magic. We see how the seeds are already present within the mind of the victim, and how it is the projected, negative energy from the attacker that stimulates these seeds into a state of germination. We must also remember that the seeds of the subconscious respond to pattern and emotion. This is why the attack must not only be persistent, but also charged with such potent energies as hatred or revenge. This all seems rather dismal, doesn't it? How are we supposed to protect ourselves from an invisible enemy who can destroy our lives from the inside out? The answer is simple, fellow explorers. Be not afraid. Psychic attacks are rare, and usually fail. We are more protected than we think, especially if we maintain alignment with our divine nature. It is impossible for an attacker to unleash and sustain the psychic firepower required to penetrate an aura which is charged by unconditional love. Unconditional love comes from pure self-acceptance. When the heart is configured in this way, the person's aura will be so radiant with light that all lesser energies must disintegrate and absorb into the aura of light itself. A person with unconditional self-love lets go of all their thoughts. This does not mean that they are mindless. They have just as many thoughts, both positive and negative, as anyone else. The difference is that love compels a person to release everything. This includes thoughts, emotions, people, possessions, and so on. Everything is allowed to come and go naturally. Love has no need to cling. It appreciates everything for what it is, and then lets it disappear as naturally as a river carries leaves downstream. For this reason, negative thought forms vanish quickly in the mind of a person who is beaming with unconditional love. All the curses in the world could be directed at this person, and they would still perceive it as yet another natural phenomenon in the human experience. This example may be a little extreme, but it demonstrates the power of alignment. To be aligned is to remain true to our divine self, which is none other than pure love. As we can see, the foundation of all psychic self-defense relies on the premise that love is the most basic, indestructible, inexhaustible essence in the universe. So then, how can we become a vessel for this love, such that it flows through us and supercharges our aura? While there may be many answers to this question, we will focus on just one, the heart chakra. If the heart chakra is closed, a person will never be able to experience, much less radiate, love. However, when the heart chakra is open, the person may begin to circulate love through their entire system. Once this flow has been activated, the person will be filled with the divine light of their higher selves, such that it radiates outwards through the aura, landing gracefully and mercifully on the surrounding world. This phenomenon is associated with such feelings as high energy, mental clarity, acceptance, joy, peace, and so on. Everything you do under the influence of love will be effortless. Of course, the heart chakra is not the only chakra. Some occultists say we have around 300 chakras, or subtle energy centers, throughout the body, with 7 primary chakras running along the spine. The heart is, of course, just one of these energy centers. To truly become one with our divine selves, we must have all 7 primary chakras open and activated. When these conditions are met, we begin to access our subtle energy bodies. These are layers of our being which exist as subtler, less dense forms of energy within the unseen world. Indeed, our true being emanates infinitely in all directions. Thus, when our chakras are activated, we do not simply exist on Earth. Rather, we are accessing and participating in the so-called higher dimensions of reality, where the petty issues of fear and curses are so fleeting and meaningless that they become whimsical, ornery little devils in the game of life. Now, before we continue, we must briefly touch on the issue of karma. Psychic attacks are always associated with, and followed by, rebound effects in the unseen world at the origin point of the attack, which is the soul of the attacker. In other words, the attacker will incur karma for their deeds. Every thought we have produces gentle ripples of karma. One can only imagine the recoil of firing off a high-powered, hate-filled curse. Most magicians understand this, and so they find more sensible ways of channeling their hatred. In truth, however, real magicians are rarely, if ever, possessed by such demons as bitterness, which is a chronic hatred of life itself. True vessels of divine power are unable to be conquered by their emotions, and so they have no desire and no need to inflict chaos and destruction on others. Remember, the attacker must summon destructive energies within themselves before they are able to project them forward. Most people are not built for this sort of work. In order to serve as a vessel for evil magic, one must open up their body, mind, and soul to the influx of potent infernal energies. We can only imagine what kind of immediate and lingering effects this may have on a person's overall health. Most human beings are ignorant of psychic processes, and so therefore they have no idea that evil thinking can be used as a weapon. In most cases, the ordinary person carrying unpleasant energy simply exhausts their repressed darkness by projecting it onto others, complaining about life, and engaging in gossip. Such patterns of behavior feed the slow-moving malaise of evil energies that already flow through our society. In other words, the presence of unwanted vibrations does not necessarily indicate an attack. Quite literally, we are surrounded by the general ooze of society's collective negativity. One must always vet out all other possibilities before assuming that an attack is underway. To truly operate as an effective curse, negative energy must cascade over the aura in concentrated, focused patterns. This can only be caused by intention, and so therefore considerable psychic power and intelligence is required to conceive of and follow through with a legitimate psychic attack. Beware, fellow explorers. There is but one type of perpetrator who targets us far more frequently than anyone else. The most sinister and relentless of all evil magicians lurks within each one of us. Indeed, we are the very targets of our own curses. A person's negative patterns of thinking and self-destructive tendencies are indeed a form of malefic magic, as they are shaped by intention and charged with emotion. Further exploration into this topic must be saved for another video. But let it be said that in the end, our greatest nemesis will always be found within. Ultimately, it does not matter if an attack is present or not, nor does it matter where the negative energy comes from. In every case, ascension is the purest method of protecting oneself from destructive influences. Ascension is not so much a one-time occurrence, but rather a process of living with an open heart. When a person's heart is closed, they are vulnerable to fear. When a person's heart is open, they are ready to receive unconditional love from the universe. Love will effortlessly lift your vibrations to the point where all your fear dissolves. And so, as you evolve your heart consciousness, you become invulnerable to curses. If you are interested in reading about this topic further, look for a book recommendation in the description below. And until next time, fellow explorers, see through ignorance, relax your nervous systems, and choose love.